Hello, it's Carolyn here from the Stretch Space in Vancouver, and I'm here today to show you some of my favorite simple neck stretches and movements that you can do any day, anytime, anywhere. One of the things that people come to see me the most for is neck stiffness. And although there's a lot of reasons why your neck might hurt, which is another conversation for another day, but here's some really simple, easy, gentle neck stretches that you can do pretty much anywhere, so there's no excuse. So I'm gonna do them sitting down on a block because I really like sitting on a block. It's comfy. But you can do this any way you want. You can do it sitting on the floor, you can do it sitting in a chair, you can even do them standing. But this is how I'm gonna do them today for you. So I'm gonna arrive in my seat, and if you are seated, feel your sit bones on whatever surface you're on, whether it's a chair or the floor. Really try to ground your sitting bones and lift up in the front of the pelvis with a gentle support. And we'll take a deep breath in and let it go. And just notice everything kind of settling and falling in your body. We're gonna start by shrugging our shoulders up and just add a little bit of tension. Take an inhale, and then realize we don't need that tension, and we let it go. Maybe do that a couple times, lifting the shoulders, and let it go. And then now we'll roll the shoulders back, and just notice how the shoulders are feeling. Sometimes by opening up the muscles in the neck, we can actually release some tension in the upper shoulders and upper traps as well. So that's a nice little bonus. And then reverse the circle. And just notice if there's any grinding or stickiness happening. And then we'll begin tipping your ear towards your shoulder and float it back to center. And tipping the other way, ear towards shoulder. Now this shouldn't be super strenuous, just a gentle kind of self-assessment, self-movement. Notice how this lateral motion feels. And come back to center, and then turning your head to one side, and center, and other side. And again, we're kind of just self-assessing here. So notice if it's easier to turn on one side than the other side. On my body, I notice it's a little stickier turning my head this way. That's kind of just one of my things I'm working on. So just tune into that and notice if one side feels different. It might be really, really subtle. Good. And then same going forward and up. So just tuck your chin down, look at the floor, notice how that feels in the back of the neck. And then look up to the ceiling all the way. Notice how that feels in the front of the neck. And do that a couple times, dropping down. And as we drop down, try not to slump the shoulders forward, but keep a nice sense of lift through the low belly and the spine. And then on the way up, try not to compress in the back of the neck, but just simply tipping your chin up and back like you're arcing over a little rainbow. And come center. Good, and now we'll go into the stretches. So tipping your ear towards your shoulder. You're gonna take your hand, place it on your ear, and just gently let the weight of your arm gently fall. So I'm not pulling or yanking on my head. This is not aggressive at all. It's very gentle and easy. Deep breaths. As you inhale, feel your belly expand. And as you exhale, let it go. And then here I like to add some shoulder circles. These are optional, but it feels good, and you'll just notice the relationship between the neck and the traps and the upper shoulders and how we're all connected. And you can circle the other way. Always breathing. And if at any time this feels like too much or it hurts, just gently stop. Go into the next movement. Good, and I'm gonna let that float up and let it go to the other side. Ooh. And gently bringing the hand to the ear, letting it fall. Again, no force, no aggression. The tissues in the neck can be really sensitive, especially if they are sticky or tight or causing you pain. You want to take extra care. And rolling the shoulder the other way. sometimes I even like to maybe reach my arm out to the side and open it to the back. This is optional. Good, and let it float up. Good, and again, I'm gonna let my ear come to the shoulder. I'm gonna do this movement again. And now this time I'm gonna give a little bit of pressure. So I'm gonna like think about pressing my head back up to the ceiling to create a little contraction, and then release. And then again, contraction, and release. And contraction, and release. Good, and this time I'm gonna allow my chin to dip down, look at the floor, and I'm gonna bring my head to the other side by sweeping it around the bottom. It's just, you know, we're getting into new angles, but you can experiment with that. And here, add a little contraction, and release. Contraction by gently press your head up into your hands, and release, let it go. Again, gently press up into your hand, and release, let it go. And same thing, I'm gonna bring my head down, looking at the floor, and while I'm here, I'm gonna clasp the back of the hands into the back of my neck. And same thing, just gently let the weight of your arms fall. Don't push or pull your head forward. Take some breaths here, breathing into the back of the neck, maybe letting your head move side to side a little bit. This is particularly good for people who spend a lot of time working in an office, maybe sitting in a desk all day. You can do these like 3 times a day. Let that float up. Good, and then to reverse that, we're gonna take your collarbones. I'm gonna pin the skin on my collarbones down, and I'm gonna gently tip my head back. And be careful not to crunch in the back of the neck. We want those cervical spine to stay long. So I'm gonna think about, instead of just going back, I'm gonna go up and back. And then same thing here. I'm gonna gently move my chin side to side. This is really hard to talk and do at the same time, so sorry if I sound weird. So we're gonna let the head go all the way back as far as it feels okay. And just let the chin make little rainbows on the ceiling. And come center and float it up. And just notice how you feel. You might feel a little bit lighter already. All right, so there's my simple neck series for you. There's a lot more that can be done with the neck, but that's a really great starting point. And take all of those stretches I just mentioned and feel free to explore your own little angles, your own little contractions, and also integrating some shoulder movement into those stretches. You can do these anytime, at home, sitting, standing, waiting in line for something, at your computer, on an airplane. There is no excuse. So here we go. Thanks.